Hello everybody, welcome back to Rain and Pours. I'm Mitch and today I am doing a bit of a mixture between a watercolor bloom and a Jessica Winter Strom hide and reveal technique. So I've got the same color palette I was using last week. I'm going to do a little tweak to that. So the idea that I've had since I got back from Canada was to do a hide and reveal technique by putting chameleon colors in the center of the bloom. So putting those down first, using a nice dark base. So I'm going to use the dark blue that I've got tinted. Putting those chameleon colors down first and then putting some nice blue colors, working my way up with the faux pillow of indigo over the top and a bright pink cell activator. So I want to see if I can make that happen, but I want the watercolor bloom sort of effect. So I don't know if it's going to work with the hide and reveal technique, but we're going to give it a try and see how we go. So I'm going to take you down and I'll explain what colors I'm using. Okay, so here is the color combination I'm using today. So for the center, I have a couple of ghost chameleons that I've got mixed up into my bloom mixture. Now these are white-based powders that have a really super intense color shift to them. So they're very similar to the Little Piggy interference powders, but they're going to have much more of a shift. So I do have this Little Piggy glisten here. This is a blue to green color shift. And some of the chameleons that I'm using have a really intense green that goes all the way to the other end, and I have one that goes to a pink. So they're very similar colors. Glisten's going to be the main source of the color with those backing it up, and it's just going to add a little bit of extra something to it, I guess. Then I have this Little Piggy Echeveria. I was using Praenite in last week's combination, but I think I want more of a deep green for this. Then I have Unicorn and Taffy from this Little Piggy. I've got Matisse Dioxazine Purple, and then I have Matisse Indigo mixed up as my faux pillow. Then for the cell activator, I have Liquitex Fluoro Opera Pink Gouache. So let's start by putting down some pillow paint. And I am using a color called River Watch. This is a, and I'm getting everything stuck here. This is a British Paints low sheen paint. It's an interior paint, and this is the closest I could find to getting Sherwin-Williams Anchors Away. So if you're in the States or Canada, use Sherwin-Williams Color to Go tinted Anchors Away, but here in Australia, River Watch is what I'm using today. And when I'm pouring directly from a can like this, I bought this little spout, this little plastic spout, just goes on the rim of your container and makes painting and pouring paint out so much quicker and easier and more controlled. So I'm just going to pour the pillow paint on, and my pillow is a little bit thick, I think, which is really interesting because the British Paints is normally perfect consistency, but it's much thinner than this. So I'll be interested to see how this goes. And I've got a little bit of paint on there, but not overly much. So I do want to put a little bit more just so I get a good spread, but I don't want it to spread too much. I'll give it a little spin to even it out just a tad, and then we're going to layer our paints. I need to peel off my, my paint from here. Then we're going to layer our paints from the center outwards. So because I'm going for a watercolor bloom effect, I want to put very little paint in the middle, and the paints should be quite thin, much thinner than you normally would for a bloom. So going in with my chameleon colors to start, then this Little Piggy glisten, and I just realized I'm doing a watercolor bloom effect, so I do need to put a bit of a bigger circle of paints on. So I'm going to drizzle those on in a nice thin layer, because then we're going to put a faux pillow over the top of everything. So that was Unicorn by this Little Piggy. Then I have Echeveria. That one is quite bubbly because I've only just mixed it. Then Dioxazine Purple has thickened up a fair bit, so I'm going to add some water. Now I add water to my mixture when they start to get really thick and gluggy, and that can happen because of the Joe Sonia that you're adding. If you're in the States, try not to add water to your Bear 8300 because it will mess with the consistency of it quite a bit. Diox Purple, Taffy, And then we're going to use a big flat scraper to put our faux pillow on. So my faux pillow also is quite thick. So this is Matisse Indigo paint, and it's just mixed exactly the same as my pouring medium paints, but it needs to be much thinner because it's thickened up overnight. Much better. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to make a nice decent layer of the faux pillow over the top, keeping in mind that we're going to spin this out, so it doesn't have to be overly thick. But it does have to be even. So try and get it as even as possible. There we go. I'm not going to worry too much about the edges. Actually, I lie. I am. Because if I don't spin that off, it's going to be very obvious where the edge of the paint was. So I'm just going to spin my turntable as I pour some more of that off. Didn't do a great job, but let's see what happens. And so I don't waste, I am just going to use my stir stick to scrape the remaining paint off the spatula, off the scraper, into my container again. Okie dokie, and clean it. So you could just use a normal palette knife to do that, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is just pop any really large bubbles here at this stage. Okay, now the cell activator, it's going to go here in the middle, and I'm just going to blow out a couple of petals, not as many as I normally would because I do want lots of negative space. So there we go, let's try. I think that's a pretty cool shape and pattern, so I'm not going to blow out any more. We're going to spin this and see what we end up with. Changing up that color combination was definitely the right choice. Adding in Echeveria instead of Prehnite, we've got a much more defined green, which is much more appealing to me, I think. So we'll give it a good spin. Let's see what we end up with. So my main aim is just trying to get all of the faux pillow to the edge and getting off the pillow paint underneath. Very nearly there. One more spin and that should do it. So I'm going to check, so I do have all of that pillow paint now covered, all of the faux pillow is all the way. I'm going to move the center of the weight of paint slightly off so that it doesn't dry wonky in the middle. And I have a tiny bit of pink there that was bothering me. I really like this cool little cell that's formed over here by itself. I'm really enjoying this combination. Okay, there appears to be a bubble. Bubble or a gloop? That's a gloop. Okay, so I need to grab tweezers. That is a great question. Where are my tweezers? There they are. So because this one's a gloop, I need to get that out. Fantastic. Got it. So happy with this combination, everyone. Really pretty. It would be much better if I didn't have the, what do you call it, bubbles from the Echeveria popping through, but nothing I can do about that now. I'm going to wipe my hands, grab the phone off, and I'll show you a close-up. Okay, so this is what we're working with. This is what it looks like. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Have a look at that beautiful center, really nice light center. Now I don't mind that this area up here had a bit of that pillow show through because that really lends to the smoky look of the watercolor effect. But look at this gorgeous color combination down here. Now I'm going to turn on my flash to show you all the gorgeous sparkle. Look at that, those little piggies just make such an amazing effect in your paws, especially over a black background or a dark background. Look at those beautiful cells, how they sort of just melt away. Now with watercolor blooms, you're not aiming for solid looking cells. So if these melt as they dry, I'm not too fussed. However, in my experimentation with our Australian paints, they don't tend to melt as much as what the Bear 8300 does. So that's a hide and reveal with a watercolor style bloom. I love this combination. I'm going to try another one. So I'll be right back. I'll put a new canvas on and let's see how this one dries. I'll be right back. Okay, I have another piece here that I'm going to paint over. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Let's see if we can get a different result, a better result. I don't know, just another result. I'm really liking this. I'm really happy with how that's turned out. I should have enough indigo to do a second round, so let's try again. So keeping in mind that we're doing a hide and reveal, I can put a little bit more paint down now. Because I thought I was just doing watercolor before, but because I'm doing hide and reveal, I can do that. There we go. Then unicorn. So I have a feeling as this dries and is under resin, we're going to get a lot more of the pink shift coming from unicorn as well, which is really hard to capture on camera. That one was Echeveria, then dioxazine purple, taffy, I really don't use taffy enough in my work at all. I should use it much more. Okay, and then plenty of faux pillow on my scraper. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit more. Okay. So, keeping in mind that when we blow this out, it's going to distribute some of that as well. So I'm going to try and blow the paints over towards this area, so where the faux pillow didn't quite make it, because that's going to cover everything up there. Okie dokie. Let's go with our cell activator and give it another blowout. That's so cool. This was a really good blowout. I'm just going to sort of push the pillow paint towards the edges so everything flows nicely. Cells have formed really, really pretty. And I'm just going to tilt the whole piece towards the center so I get a nice even spin out and give it a spin. And then we'll see how we're traveling for paint distribution as we spin. It's really nice. Okay, I'm going to tilt this way. I want more of a stretch over here. And again, if we can get that faux pillow right to the edge, I'm pretty happy. Almost there, a little bit more over here. Again, just shifting the middle off center. Just ever so slightly. It's going to prevent those wonky cells in the middle. And I've moved the spinner, as I tend to do with this one, because I don't have the solid wood base on this one. Not as much negative space, we've got a little bit, but I'm much happier with this color combination, switching out the Echeveria in the center and using those. Oh, color, the color shift is crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take this off the spinner and show you, tilting it in the light for you to be able to see it, but we're definitely getting the throw of that pink from Unicorn and from those Chameleon colors as well. All right, let me clean up my hands and I'll take you down for a close-up. All right, this one turned out very different to the other one. I blew it out a little bit more, but you can definitely see all of those beautiful colors. Look at that ring of taffy. That's pretty much gone around the whole piece, as well as the Echeveria. And I really wanted to show these awesome cells that I've got forming. Look at these. It's almost like someone's copied and pasted the layers of cells above and below. And they look super 3D in person. I don't know if you can really see it. Let's see if we can get the flash in there, but they look like they're reflecting different levels of paint, which is so fantastic. Really loving this color combination. Try and get that pink color shift happening. Let me see if I can pick it up and show you in the light. Trying to get it off the mat is a challenge. If I can get my finger under there, I might be able to do it. Okay. So you can see in the center there, the start of that pink coming through. Especially at the top just there. Really super pretty. Alright guys, if you like what I'm doing here, like and subscribe. If you want to see more of this color combination, let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.